Loading Batman pornography.
Well,
What? Fucking God.
dude, what the fuck? Hey. Hey guys, welcome to the show. Tonight we have a special guest, Alfred Paige, creator and writer of Chess, Pinpoint, Blowtorch, great comics, man. I love this guy. He's been on here for interviews, and we're grateful to have him back to the show.
Looks like we're experiencing technical difficulty, but don't worry, folks. We're still on the air.
Yeah, man, so today's a good one. We got Mysterious the Unfathomable. This comic was written by Jeff Parker and illustrated by Tom Fowler. And it was actually lettered, coincidentally enough, it was actually lettered by the same person that lettered Blowtorch, Seda Temafonte. So I think it's almost fitting that we have Alfred on the show for this one specifically. But basically, the comic follows Ella. She's a reporter for a local paper, and she actually goes to report on a seance that takes place locally, led by this man named Mysterious the Unfathomable. So now that we know what the comic's about, Dan, what do you got for us, man?
I actually like this. I really don't have much to question about it. Everything flowed pretty good. I like the story. I felt like it told me everything I needed to know for a first issue, and to gain some interest for me to want to keep reading. You attracted more to the story of a flashback in the book, when the book was actually started out about a whole other character. The timeline of the book, what we're actually reading as this time is this other dude that's got whores written all over his arm.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah. So
you know what I mean? And then they delve deep into her background, which really just tells us the story of Mysterious. But then they come full circle back to dude, but really with no answers for him, but still.
Right. I think maybe the second issue will probably continue his story. It almost seems like that's where they're going with it.
And you really don't even know how much time it's been since the flashback and her getting this. I guess
it's 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
Oh, is that how long it's been? 2 weeks?
2 weeks,
since
yeah.
started working
2 weeks.
for him? Okay, I missed that.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this one. The artwork was so expressive. The guy with the big nose. I mean, it's just the artist just really made a world with his artwork, and I enjoyed that. You know what I mean? I like that type of artwork that it defines the characters so well. So
Yeah,
I love how they did her glasses, and I just like the expressions, his major expressions in this comic book. So I call it Mr. Magoo style. I don't know if you remember that cartoon. Some of y'all might be too young for that, but
No.
just that, like the big nose, the big ears, with the glasses and stuff like that. I mean, it wasn't the traditional comic book art style that you see.
It almost felt like something that you would see in Mad Magazine or something.
Yeah.
Or somebody who does like an elf. I forgot what that comic book was, but that type of exaggerated fairy tales type of artwork.
Mm-hmm.
But they did it in this style, and it came out good. I mean, I was into it. So
yeah. You mentioned about it being expressive too. Like they did keep the features, even though they exaggerated everything. It didn't seem overdone.
Right.
Yeah, that's the thing. I say from a caricature perspective, it's you can appreciate this comic because you can tell that this is somebody that has a very good understanding of caricature. because normally a rule of thumb with caricature is that if you exaggerate in one place, it necessarily affects another. So like, you know, a big nose normally drops the mouth, you know, like there are certain pushes and pulls that happen in caricature that you have to account for. So when you're going to exaggerate, for example, that guy's nose, you know, you have to account for how that's going to affect the space between his nose and his mouth. And, you know, you got to like space all these things out to keep them within a certain proportion. And they did it really well in this comic.
Yeah, and the color palette fit as well, you know, to the artwork. So
yeah, that was gonna be one of the things I was gonna mention, and that to me is part of visual storytelling, is the colors that they use in transition from one scene to another. Because my wife and I sat down and read Empty Man again.
Come on, man, that was last week.
And that was one of the most beautiful things about that comic, was the way that they changed colors scene to scene, and sometimes just threw in like a hue here and a hue there to like really affect the mood. It was crazy. And this comic actually had that kind of stuff, like almost on par with Empty Man.
Like when they walked into the 200-year-old car that nobody noticed, all the oranges and everything, and the yellow, it really stood out. It let you know you were in this different space, you know, a different
right. Like, I mean, you just look at like page 2 and 3. If you like put them next to each other, you know, you have page 2 that's in this misty place where she goes to like meet the guy, and the skyscrapers are coming out of like, you know, this, it almost looks like a aqua blue, but then in the next page then is, you know, like the flashback, and so you're in a completely different setting. It has like all these other earthy tones and things like that, and like the contrast is really cool, but that goes a long way with like creating that setting.
I see why they chose those colors, because usually it's the other way around. When you have a flashback, it's the coloration that changes. Like normally it would be in the where she was talking to that dude for the job they're picking up, but they knew that most of the story was going to be in this flashback, so they chose to swap those colors so you weren't in this dark world all the time, you know. Because like I said, normally they would have the flashback in that different hue. So this is I thought it was
I will agree with that. Yeah, it's the colors. It's a nice tone. It wasn't too crazy. It's a good. It reflected the artwork well. So all the stages. I mean, the flashback, just throughout the whole comic book. I mean, you never got lost when it came to the artwork and the color palette.
Like even the names of the horrors on his arm in purple stood out, you know, through the gray green hue of it. You know, that's purple. You could see every name. You know, it wasn't scribble. So
Absolutely.
Yeah, we like my wife and I were having fun just like picking out some of the names, because they had like, you know, some of the classic ones like Candy, you know. But there was
Lulu or something, or Lucy Lou or something.
Lucy Lou. Yeah, that was my favorite.
It spelled like loose.
Lucy Lou. Yeah.
I was gonna say I like the story where they go into the seance and he's actually walking through the realm, and he forces the guy to join him, and his Meemaw or whatever the hell it is.
That was a really crazy scene.
Yeah, and then he gets lost, and he's like, well, you know, he's got to find his own way out. Now I'm like, oh, you can't, like you just went in there. You can't be like, hey, bro, this way, nothing. He's like, he's on his fucking own.
He did. He was like, wait, no, well.
But I like the concept, you know, and the whole, how they showed this red stream of their souls kind of tied to him, keeping him within that realm, you know. And then when they broke that dude was lost. I thought it was really well done.
In that particular scene when he enters this, you know, domain of the unalive, that had one of my favorite pages, like artistically and with visual storytelling. With it's page 10, where he like reaches that jaw that's like on the ground, the giant one. That page, like the way they drew him from like big to small, but then also like he did this trajectory across the page like a diagonal, and it just creates such movement, you know, like he's like
moving. Yeah.
They did that really well. Yeah, I like that.
I know I told you that I had issues 1 and 2, but it turns out that I have issues 1 and 3.
Oh damn.
Okay.
But I
How long
do
ago did
want
that
to order
comic
this.
come out?
I couldn't find a page for it. But that's another weird thing I wanted to mention. The credits page was like on page 6, and it's for Mysterious the Magnificent.
Yeah.
So I got March 23rd, 2010.
Oh, 2010. Okay.
Yeah, that's a Wildstorm. That's a Wildstorm comic book. Wildstorm it's in from Image. Yeah. So I was like, damn, I must have missed that one.
But yeah, I was wondering why they had did they change the name like afterwards, because it says Mysterious the Magnificent.
I think they were just introducing him on the credits page, because that credits page with his that full shot of him is his introduction.
Yeah, like that's a panel in the story.
Up to it, and then that there he is. Boom, got him. And he just threw the credits in at the bottom. I thought it was dope. I like the way they did that.
Yeah. They did very well. The designs were good.
Yeah, my wife said it was a funny intro.
Kind of like a flyer that he would pass out or something.
Right. Yeah, I like his fingers down in there.
I was just gonna say that, and I was like, "Oh shit, check this dude out. He's double fingering that bitch."
Yeah, that's a good description. I like that.
I also like this other character, the skeptic.
Yeah.
The redheaded skeptic.
Alex Jones looking ass.
Yeah, no, but I liked his character because he was another character that had this face that they were exaggerating these expressions on. You know, that page where he's like absolutely like fucking losing it after he broke the circuit. I don't know if you saw in this panel, page 14. In the third panel of page 14, he's the only character in that panel that's like completely, I think it's like a red-orange.
Oh, red-orange, yeah.
And then like you can see, even though it's his profile, you can see this insane expression in his face and the way they got his hands curling like that. You know, and the fact that they made him that red-orange, like he's fuming, you know? I liked how they played with his character.
I would like to see this artist, with this style artwork. I would love to see him do a zombie or something of a more monstrous book. I mean, can you imagine what he could do art-wise with it?
Looking at what he did for that dude's grandmother, I mean,
it's
monstrous.
Yeah. So imagine this guy doing like an Incredible Hulk, the new one, like the Monsters one, the horror one, or something like that. There's something that really lets him go crazy with it. You know what I mean?
And bringing up that scene with the mom, if you really look at his character in that scene, he's not like this evil prick. He's just been doing it for so long. He's literally just trying to get paid. He wasn't describing the mom the way she was. Right. He was being real nice about it. He wasn't saying the rude, crazy shit she was saying.
Yeah.
You know, he was just trying to get and then he warned the dude, you don't want to do this, man. Like, you don't want to see her. It's not what you think. And but saying that he got her dogs but they're wrapped around her and wearing fur, but it's just like fucking rats crawling all over and shit. Kind of says a lot about him, I think. You know.
Well, it's kind of it does. It makes you just made me think about that, because is he a shyster? Because he does that. He seems like a good guy right there, right? He's really trying to do this guy a favor, and then when he's got to show him the truth, he leaves him in that truth. And then his last employee gets him arrested for trying to rob a fucking bank. I thought that was pretty clever too.
Yo,
I want to
that
get this cash. And it was like,
dude.
I was like, holy shit, dude! What is this guy? What is this for Delphi getting herself into?
But like I say, it's been hundreds of years of the same shit. Like everything, all the crazy shit he goes through, his expression is almost always the same. He's just like, whatever, dude. Like, just fucking lackadaisically don't give a fuck about what's going on. Nothing affects him. That crazy bitch screaming right in his face. Nothing, you know, he just looks at
Nothing affects him.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Well, when he leaves him out, and she's like, well, will he be okay? And he's like, you'll have to feed him. Like, he's going to be like, yeah. What were you saying, Alfred?
I was going to say, I was like a married guy when the wife was talking to him. He just had no expression, listening to what she's saying.
Yeah, pick a spot on the wall and focus on it.
Even the way his stance, the way he's like slumped over all the time, he's just slouched. He's fucking over it.
His pot belly, though. I love that they gave him a pot belly.
Yeah. One thing I didn't like was it seemed that they would randomly make him look like he's running. Like he's crossing the hall and ends up in the bank, and he looks like he's in like a full stride running. And then there's a couple of other scenes, I don't remember exactly, but there was at least one other where it didn't make sense that he was running and it looked like he was.
Right.
Answer, Bob. How many issues with it?
Hold on, let me ask you, hold on. Siri, how many issues of Mysterious the Unfathomable are there?
Loading Batman pornography.
What?
What?
Fucking
Dude,
God.
what the fuck? Hey.
Well, we got the first
guys.
animation to this show, Christian.
This bitch just set me
Hey,
up.
Bob, I'm going to go now. I want to let you go and have your fun. I'm going to talk to you later.
Hold on.
I didn't know that shit existed.
Siri, how many issues of Mysterious the Unfathomable are there?
Just type it in, bro.
Loading Batman pornography.
Whoa, what the fuck? Siri, are you a dime dropping bitch?
Oh, God.
Loading Batman pornography.
You fucking bitch. We need somebody on the phone.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, but you know, out the books that you have reviewed, I mean, this one to me is one of the top ones with everything that it came with, and I would read this one again, issue 2 or 3. You know, I would follow up with this comic book. So I give it a high rating compared to the comic books that you've been reviewing lately. And
Fair.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, we've had some.
I give it a high rating. I mean, it actually grabbed my attention and grabbed my interest, and it's not even a comic book that I normally would give a chance to, subject matter or whatever. But once you read it, like you really captivated into the world that the guys created, and I enjoy that. So when a comic book could do that and pull you out, it's a good read.
That's been happening to me a lot with these reading these indie comics, especially doing the show. Reading comics I wouldn't normally pick out from walking through the door. I would normally pick something else. But as we go through our collection, I'm really starting to question my taste. Like, should I even be trusted going to the comic book store and picking stuff out? Maybe I should be doing it randomly like this. But yeah, I agree with you, man. It's really good comic.
That's the ingredients to a good story or good art, the combination of a good story and good artwork. You know what I mean? If you get a chance, somebody read it who is not even in that genre, they enjoy it. It's like they enjoy it for what it is, and you could make somebody a new fan of that story. Maybe not the genre of your particular comic book.
Right, but it'll open up to that
one
genre.
did. That's what this one did. So.
Well, that's like me in particular. I don't even read comic books before I started doing this show. Like, it was not something I ever had a desire to do. And then, I collected some in the past, but it was just because it was cool. It wasn't had this strong urge to read books or comics. Like Bob said, it's making me question whether or not I ever really like comic books. I feel like I just never had had the right ones. This is reading a lot more intriguing stories than I ever thought were available in comics.
Yeah, definitely.
That's
Yeah,
right.
for
That's
sure.
right.
For sure.
That's right.
That's
Yeah,
been
we
the
brought-
main thing for me is that like I appreciate indie comics so much more now because they have these stories that you don't normally find in Marvel or DC or
Right.
things like that.
Yeah.
They're real stories.
That's a good thing and bad thing about independent comic books. Somebody does it right, it's really a fulfilling atmosphere when it's done right and done correct or done the way that you appreciate. And then when it's not done that way, you have the same reaction, opposite reaction. So it's like, what am I reading? What am I reading? Or you know what I mean? So it's important that the artist and the story, kind of have a direction and mesh in a visual, taking upon themselves first as they develop the story. You know what I mean? So I think that worked out well with this one.
Yeah, especially the book itself. Almost the entirety of the book is a flashback, and that's usually kept for exposition, to fill people in on backstory. But this was, the entirety, and it was a good enough story to tell the flashback. So I appreciate it. Like, and I'm reading, I'm getting like page 4 and 5. I'm like, damn, are we going back to like? I'm not really sure what's going on, but as we do go on. I was glad that we stuck to the story. It was interesting. But yeah, I would definitely going to read Order 2. I've got 3. I'm definitely interested in this comic. The question, does it take Empty Man off the perch? Alfred, you haven't read the Empty Man, have you?
I did not, no. But I'm upset it knocked me off the top spot, so I'm trying to come back. I'm trying to make a comeback.
Yeah, I don't. Again, like Empty Man versus Nightmare Man, they don't fit really in the same category art-wise, but I feel like, man, I don't know, it was good. I feel like it's definitely a contender, but I don't know if it's taking Empty Man off.
Yeah, I think it gave you more than Empty Man did.
Yeah.
And I did enjoy the story. It gave you more, but I'm not sure if it takes it off its top spot for me. It is a contender. It did come close.
Yeah, I think it's worth discussion for sure. Because
I can see there being a very spirited debate about this.
Yeah, it definitely crossed the T's and dotted the I's with into the production of the comic book. So, comic book, you have a number 1 spot now. If I had compared this one to Blowtorch, I would say that they're around the same thing. They have the same atmosphere as what makes them interesting.
Yeah. They both got what they were going for. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you can tell what they were trying to do, and they did it. And that's what's good about when you go from the start to end. If you can see what they're going for, and by the time you got to the end, you got it, then that was a good comic. And Blowtorch, Empty Man, Nightmare Man, and in my opinion, Duel, all 4 had those qualities. And they're all very different comics, man. Such different stories in so many ways, but so good in all the same way. You know what I'm saying? It's just so odd. So Empty Man stayed on top, man.
I'd say so, because like for me it didn't, like it's like you said it perfectly. It does give you more than Empty Man, especially art-wise. I will say the art in this comic is overall more enjoyable than the art in Empty Man. More dynamic, like the expressions are, like we said, exaggerated, so you feel the art more with it here than you would in Empty Man. But as far as, I'd say that the art with this one went a long way adding to the story. But what happened with Empty Man is it was satisfying. Like it was like the way the art complemented the story was in a very satisfying way. And this one didn't satisfy me as much as Empty Man did. So I would keep Empty Man on top.
Empty Man still in the spot.
I'm gonna send you Empty Man. You might enjoy that one too, Alfred.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind reading it. It took my spot. I gotta see what it's about.
Yeah.
But you know, like I said, I'm coming back with Blowtorch Bury the Past, what y'all have. You know, so I hope y'all review that soon and see if I can get back in the same slot.
Yeah, we're gonna put that on the list, man. We got a lot going on. Hopefully, we can get it by probably around the first of the year. I like the paneling in this. What do you think, Christian?
I did like the paneling in this one too, because every time I see paneling that is not stagnant, that you got panels laying over each other and stuff like that. I noticed, especially reading a lot of these indie comics, that if you don't know how to do that well, your visual storytelling can get very choppy. And in this comic, that did not happen. Like, even though the panels were, kind of all over the place, they flowed really well.
Yeah, they flowed well.
Yeah, I noticed that when he was in the story, or he was with a group of people, the paneling was structured like a normal comic. And then when it was just him, or whenever it was him and the girl, whatever, doing his thing, that's when the panels started overlaying each other.
Huh.
So it's almost like you're in this different dimension or something with him.
Yeah.
Definitely had an animation panel style to it. You know what I mean? Easy chance. Could be an easy cartoon or something like that. Yeah, 8 out of 10. Definitely high up there. I mean, I couldn't even see what the improvements are. I think he did it as well as they could do it, and it came out well.
I mean, it was a good comic, man. I would suggest you guys go give this comic a buy, man. Support these guys. That's what we're here for. To encourage you guys to support indie comic creators everywhere, man. These guys are really telling some real good stories. We don't need DC and Marvel telling us how to write and draw and shit. So the more shit we go out and buy of theirs, the less they can control the industry. So let's go support these guys. Is that it? Done with that?
I guess.
Well, no, I mean, the thing is, like, I find myself in that position where the only thing I have to say about it is just keep raving about the art. And normally by that point, I feel like we're done.
Yeah.
Don't, we ain't gotta cut the balls. They get the point.
Yeah.
So that's all we got for you guys. We recommend you go get this comic, check it out. If I was to say, judging from the first issue, the series is going to be pretty cool, man. I can't wait to get into it. But anyway, that's all we got for you. Thanks, Alfred, for hanging out with us, man, and reviewing this comic. It was good having you, man.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we hope you come back soon. We'll have you on anytime you want to come back.
Thank you.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week.